What is going on, everybody? Now, Star Wars Battlefront just came out last Tuesday, and I have to sit here and honestly say, I'm having a ton of fun with Star Wars Battlefront. Honestly, I don't think I have had this much fun with an online multiplayer game in quite a long time. And that's saying something, but this game is just so much fun, and it's just so addicting. And I'm guessing it's because since I'm a big Star Wars fan, this game screams Star Wars fan service. The sounds, the graphics, the look, everything about it is just fan service for Star Wars. They did a masterful job at making an actual Star Wars game. It's just phenomenal. And I think the other reason is because my whole time playing it so far, I haven't really noticed any major issues. Usually when I play a multiplayer game, you end up noticing an exploit of some kind, or a broken weapon, or just something that's a problem that's going to need patching in the future. Honestly, my whole time playing this game so far, I have not noticed a single thing that I would say is a huge issue. Personally. And that's quite refreshing, so that's probably why I'm really enjoying this game. And from what I've seen, a lot of other people seem to be enjoying this game as well, which brings me to why I'm making this video. Because I noticed something very, very interesting. Now, about a month and a half ago, I would say, I made a video basically defending this game. Because a month and a half ago, everybody, just about everybody in the gaming community was trashing Star Wars Battlefront. And when I mean trashing, I mean almost like a smear campaign, or close to it. Mostly because of the Season Pass. And I made a video basically defending the game. And pretty much what I was saying was, yes, the Season Pass is overly expensive for what it probably should be. But at the end of the day, playing video games is about having fun. And as long as you're having fun playing this game, I don't see why the $50 Season Pass should be that much of a concern to you. And that's pretty much what the gist of my video was. Basically saying we should really worry about how much fun this game is going to be, rather than a $50 Season Pass that's optional. And I was roundly criticized in my video. Or not in my, on my video. And well, first off, I'm not complaining about criticism. I don't mind criticism. I don't. I definitely don't mind criticism, as long as it's within reason. If it's trolling, then I'm just going to concede that it's trolling and not take you seriously. But, yeah, I was roundly criticized for that video. I mean, one guy said to me that I was completely clueless, that EA was purposely holding back content for this game just to charge us for it later, which I find that funny because there's no evidence that EA has already has a ton of content made for this game, and they're just not putting it in the game until later to charge us. I mean, there's no evidence of that. If anybody has any evidence of that, I would love to see it personally. By all means, let me know. And then people were comparing that like, oh, it's kind of like when Destiny was holding back content to charge later for DLC. But see, the difference here is that it was proven that Destiny was doing that because people found the actual DLC content on the disc using some exploits in the game. And they found the content before the content was even announced. So, yeah, that's not exactly comparable, because that was proven. It's not proven with this game, unless someone has proof to show me. I'd love to see it. So there was that, and then people were telling me that, oh, people are criticizing the game, and they have a right to do so because the Season Pass is expensive, and nobody is explaining anything that's in the Season Pass, even though none of the season passes really tell you what's in the season pass. They just give you a brief outline of what you're going to get with the season pass. They don't go into explicit details because that would be spoiling the future content. And if you actually look at the season pass description in Star Wars Battlefront the game, it'll give you a brief outline of what you're going to get with the season pass, which is no different from other season passes, yet none of the other season passes were really bashed, except for this one. At least recently. There's that, and then people were complaining that this game has no story mode, and it's okay for Battlefield and Call of Duty to have these expensive season passes because they actually have story campaigns, even though the story campaigns in those games is only like 4 to 5 hours, and they're pretty much throwaway just to be there. And the funny thing is that people were using that as a defense to my video, and then I've seen it in other comment sections over the internet. And what I find funny about that is that I'm willing to bet none of those people actually play those story campaigns. Usually when most people buy these games, they hop right into the multiplayer, because that is why they're buying the game. So I find it funny how they were using that as a defense. I just do. And then people were complaining that there wasn't enough game modes, even though, honestly, I think this game has enough game modes, and I think the game modes in this game are completely varied. You got a good, healthy balance of entertaining game types, along with your regular game types like TDM and like domination. And then you got aerial, the air superiority game type with the X-Wings, the TIE Fighters, and all the fun Star Wars ships. So the game modes, in my opinion, are very varied. A lot of content there. And then people complain about the weapons, even though I find it funny because most people don't use many of the weapons in online shooters because they're usually going to find 1 or 2 or 3 that are really exceptionally better than all the other weapons in the game. So they're just going to use those weapons. We've seen it time and time again with Call of Duty, Battlefield. We get killed with the same type of weapon. So I find it funny how people were complaining about that. And then, of course, people were complaining about the maps. How, there's only, 12 maps. And that's inexcusable, even though I've seen shooters come out before Battlefront that have had less maps at launch. And it was okay for those games. Not to mention, most people only like 2 or 3 maps, maybe, in most of these shooters. Like, for example, when you play Battlefield, most of the time when you look for a server, you see people playing on the same map. Like, Battlefield 3 was Operation Metro all day. So, there was even servers that rotated the same map 24/7 because people liked playing on that one map so much. That's just that example. I'm pretty sure if Call of Duty had the same system, they would have done the same thing for certain Call of Duty maps. So basically, I just think it's funny. People were complaining about everything about Battlefront, trying to find anything that they can complain about to bash this game, to say it's not worth $60. So that was a month and a half ago. So now the game is out. And you want to know what I've noticed? I've not noticed any videos bashing this game and criticizing this game. I have not really seen many comments basically trashing this game and criticizing the game. It's pretty much been almost silent except for, wait for it, praising the game. Yes, that's really interesting. That now we have people making videos and we have comments basically saying how much fun the game is. Yes, you heard me right. Now the game is a ton of fun. Despite the fact that people complain about just about everything about this game, now all of a sudden the game is fun. And I have not really seen, like I said, really many criticisms now about this game. I find that interesting. And you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to call this as I see it. It's a bunch of people just basically flip-flopping. Now, if any of you all follow politics, because I follow politics, the term flip-flopping basically means you just do a 180 and change your position. You see it a lot in politics. I don't know if any of you follow politics. When you see politicians, they say one thing, and then maybe a day or two later, they'll just completely say something different in another interview, and just won't even, act like they never meant it the other way. It's just, they're just going to say something completely different from what they meant before. It happens way too often. That's why they're politicians. But anyway, I don't mean to turn this into a political video, but it's funny. It's funny how a lot of these people just pretty much just flip-flopped on this game. And all of a sudden, there's videos basically going, oh my god, why do people hate this game? Why are people trashing this game? I don't know. Were any of you here a month and a half ago when people were trashing this game all over the gaming community? It's like people forgot that happened. It's like I don't remember what the thing is called. I wish I did because I love the movies, but the little flash memory thing in the Men in Black movies where Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones just pop out that thing and then hit the button and then a flash comes in and then the person who is the recipient of it just loses all their short-term memory. It's almost like that happened. It's like no one remembers a month and a half ago that people were trashing this game because I find it funny that people are now going, I don't know why people were hating on this game. I don't understand it. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's because a lot of people about a month and a half ago were trashing this game? I don't know. It's just a thought. So I just find it funny how I was criticized for my video, and now all of a sudden, a lot of these same people are now basically saying the same things that I was saying. Now, I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back or anything. I don't do that. I don't make videos to feed my ego because I don't have an ego. Well, I have a slight ego, but we all do. But that's not why I make videos. That's not why I'm making this video. I just think it's funny that a lot of people just had this complete 180. I just do. I think it's pretty interesting. And honestly, it goes to show, and I've said this many, many times, that most people, when they see gaming news, whether it's just regular gaming news or whether it's news about a specific game, and it's even slightly negative, or whether some people watch major YouTubers and their opinion is influenced by some of these YouTubers, and these YouTubers make a video basically ranting and criticizing that subject, a lot of people react on emotion. They react on emotion and they don't sit there and rationally think about things. They don't sit there, like, for example, let's talk about the $50 season pass. I guarantee you a lot of people didn't sit there and think about, the season pass is $50. And they're not saying what's in the season pass. There's only a brief outline. At first glance, it seems really weird. I don't like the fact they're not telling us remotely anything that's in the season pass except for a brief outline. But I wonder if maybe they actually put enough content in the season pass and update this game with enough content. Maybe the season pass could possibly be worth $50. Also, maybe if I buy this game and I end up really, really loving it, and I'm playing it just about every day of the week, and I'm addicted to this game, maybe, just maybe, I might end up wanting to buy all the DLC, and then that season pass might be worth it. That's just one example. But it is an example of trying to think about something rationally instead of emotionally. Now, with me, I always think about things rationally. That's why you'll never see me come on here and just trash a game before it comes out without having played it myself or watching somebody play the game. You will never ever see me do that. Why? Because to me, it's not right to criticize something that you don't know much about. I mean, you can criticize the game, But for all you know, once you start playing it, it could be a really fun game to you. And won't you feel a little bad that you just really trashed that game and now all of a sudden you really like that game? So, I just think more people, and that was pretty much the gist of my previous video, that people just need to really start thinking about things rationally and just think about the most important thing about video games. And that is to have fun. That is why we buy video games. Or at least that's why I think we buy video games. That's why I buy them. I buy them to have fun, to be entertained. Whether it's by myself or whether it's with my group of friends. I want to have fun. And if the game is that much fun, then I'm not going to worry about things like season passes or anything like that because those are optional purchases. So, yeah, I just think people need to start doing that. Instead of flying off the handle and criticizing a game, basically bashing the game, and then later on do a complete 180 and just end up praising the game to no end and then sit there and wonder why people are hating on the game, you know? I think people need to do that a lot more often. So, alright, you know, I think that's about it. Just please let me know what you think about this. And then, until next time, have a good one.